When it comes to love, most of the time actions speak louder than words. Many men struggle to openly express the depth of their feelings, not because they don't care, but because they often don't even realize how deeply they've already fallen. Sometimes, a man's heart is ahead of his mind. He may not fully recognize or admit his emotions, but his actions, his gestures, and his presence give him away. And if you learn to pay attention, you'll see signs that he is far more in love with you than he even realizes himself. Think about it. He might not say, "I love you," often, but does he go out of his way to make sure you're safe, comfortable, and happy? When a man finds himself unconsciously prioritizing your needs, that's love speaking through him. He might notice the little details, your favorite snack, the way you like your coffee, or the songs that brighten your mood. These small acts of care aren't random. They're subtle expressions of a heart already tied to yours. Another sign is the way he protects you. Protection isn't just physical, it's emotional and spiritual. If he feels a natural urge to shield you from pain, to stand by you when you're vulnerable, to defend your name even when you're not around, then his love runs deeper than he realizes. Love drives him to guard what matters most, and you are at the center of that instinct. Love is often something that shows itself long before it is spoken out loud. Words may be powerful, but they don't always arrive at the same pace as feelings. A man can find himself overwhelmed with emotions he doesn't yet understand or isn't ready to admit. And in that gap between realization and confession, his love starts to reveal itself through the things he does and the way he shows up in your life. He may not tell you directly that he is in love, but he cannot hide the way his heart begins to move around you. This is the beauty of unspoken affection. It's written in gestures, in choices, in the subtle details that often go unnoticed unless you are paying close attention. When a man is falling deeper in love than he even realizes, it usually shows in how naturally he begins to prioritize you. Without making a conscious decision, you suddenly become a central part of his world. He rearranges his schedule to spend more time with you. He checks in to see if you are okay. And he thinks of you in situations where you're not even present. These aren't rehearsed or planned actions. They are instinctive responses to the feelings developing within him. His love begins to lead his steps before his mind has caught up enough to give that love a name. Love that is unspoken often shows in the way he notices little things. He may pick up on your habits, your favorite foods, the way you like your coffee, or even the songs that lift your spirit. These details may seem small, but they reveal how closely he's observing you, how deeply he values what matters to you, and how much space you occupy in his thoughts. It is not just casual interest. It is an unconscious act of treasuring who you are. This kind of attention doesn't come from obligation. It comes from a heart that is quietly falling. Another powerful way love reveals itself before it is spoken is through presence. Even when he doesn't have the words, he shows up. He may not declare his feelings, but he makes sure you are not alone when you need someone. He offers comfort in silence, he lends his time, and he gives his energy because being around you feels natural and right. His presence becomes steady, dependable, and warm. That consistency is the heartbeat of unspoken love, and it is often louder than any declaration. There is also a softness that begins to shape his behavior. His tone of voice shifts when he speaks to you. His patience stretches further with you than with others. His smiles linger longer, and his laughter comes more easily when you are near. These changes are subtle, but they tell the story of emotions he may not yet fully understand. He may not call it love, but his heart already knows it, and it's reflected in the way he treats you with a gentleness that is unique. Even his sacrifices speak volumes. Without thinking twice, he may choose your comfort over his convenience, your happiness over his preference, or your peace over his pride. These sacrifices might seem small on the surface, but they reveal something profound beneath them. Love has a way of guiding people to give without asking for anything in return, to adjust without demanding recognition, and to bend without feeling broken. When he begins to make those quiet sacrifices, it's a clear sign that his love for you has already taken root. Unspoken love is also visible in the way he reacts to your emotions. If you are upset, his heart feels restless. If you are joyful, his spirit lifts. He might not know why your moods affect him so deeply, but that's the undeniable pull of love. He is connected to you in a way that ties his own peace to yours, his own comfort to your well-being. That emotional sensitivity is one of the clearest indicators that his heart is already invested. Ultimately, love has a language of its own, and it often speaks long before the words, "I love you," are ever formed. It speaks through consistency, attention, sacrifice, and presence. A man may not even realize how deeply in love he is until much later, but his actions and the shifts in his behavior reveal the truth of his heart. If you are paying attention, you can see the signs of love unfolding even when it has yet to be spoken. Small acts often carry meanings that words alone cannot express. Love doesn't always shout from the rooftops. Sometimes it whispers through the tiniest gestures that seem ordinary on the surface, but are profound when seen with open eyes. When a man is more in love with you than he realizes, it becomes clear in the subtle ways he tries to add comfort and joy to your life. He may not even recognize these gestures as signs of love, but they reveal a heart that has already begun to place you at the center of its attention. Think about the way he remembers details that others might easily forget. He notices the way you take your coffee, the brand of snacks you prefer, or the kind of music that helps you unwind after a long day. Without needing to be told, he takes mental notes of the things that make you smile. And when he shows up with those small things, a favorite meal, a thoughtful playlist, or even just a message asking about your day, it's not coincidence. It's the evidence of a man whose love is working quietly beneath the surface. These acts may appear simple, but they reveal a deep level of care and attentiveness. Love also shows in the way he prioritizes your comfort without you having to ask. If he adjusts the temperature because he notices you're cold, offers his jacket without hesitation, or makes sure you get home safely, it's his heart acting before his mind has caught up. These moments seem small in the grand scheme of things, but they are powerful signs that your well-being matters more to him than he probably admits. His love speaks through his instincts, and those instincts are tuned to your needs. Another expression of these little acts is his willingness to make space for you in his daily life. He might check in regularly, send a good morning message, or ask if you've eaten. These things don't require grand effort, but they require intention. That intention reveals where his focus truly lies. He doesn't need to write long declarations of love. Instead, he demonstrates it by consistently letting you know he's thinking of you. Even when he is busy, tired, or overwhelmed, he finds a way to make sure you feel seen. That's not casual behavior. That's a heart that has quietly placed you at the top of its list. Small acts of love also shine in moments of support. He may carry your bags without being asked, help you fix something that's broken, or offer solutions to problems you're facing. These things can feel ordinary, but they are the language of devotion. He may not recognize that each time he steps in to make your life a little easier, he is expressing his affection in one of the most genuine ways possible. True love often reveals itself not in big promises, but in the reliability of small actions repeated again and again. Even humor and playfulness can be part of these silent declarations. If he remembers your inside jokes, tries to make you laugh when you're down, or lightens your mood with small gestures of joy, it shows how much your happiness matters to him. He may not call it love, but his heart is already aligned with your emotions, seeking ways to lift you up whenever life tries to pull you down. That commitment to your joy, expressed in little ways, is one of the most powerful signs of love. What makes these acts truly meaningful is that they are not done for recognition. He doesn't perform them to prove a point or to win praise. Instead, they flow naturally, almost unconsciously, from a place of affection he may not even be ready to name. Love is at its most genuine when it is effortless, when it becomes second nature, to care for someone in ways both big and small. When you see him remembering, protecting, checking in, and showing up in these seemingly minor ways, you're witnessing the evidence of a love that runs deeper than even he realizes. Protection is one of the clearest ways love reveals itself long before words are spoken. When a man is more in love with you than he even realizes, it often comes out in his natural instinct to shield, defend, and guard you in ways that go far beyond physical safety. Protection, at its core, is love in motion. It shows that his heart is invested in your well-being, and whether or not he has admitted his feelings, his actions prove that you matter deeply to him. This instinct can appear in the simplest of ways. He may walk on the side of the sidewalk closest to traffic, slow his pace so you don't feel rushed, or check in to make sure you arrived home safely. On the surface, these gestures may seem minor, but they carry great meaning. They reveal a man who feels responsible for your safety, a man who can't quite rest until he knows you are secure. Even if he doesn't say it outright, his actions are declaring that your life and comfort are precious to him. Protection also goes beyond the physical. Emotional protection is just as important, and when a man loves more deeply than he realizes, he starts to safeguard your heart. He chooses his words carefully so as not to hurt you. He pays attention to your moods, making an effort to lift you when you're down and reassure you when you're uncertain. When others criticize you or speak negatively, he finds himself stepping in to defend you, even when you're not there to hear it. That's not casual concern. That's the heart's natural response when it loves someone more than it understands. Spiritual and mental protection are further dimensions of this expression of love. If he encourages you to believe in yourself, to pursue your dreams, or to rise above challenges, he is protecting more than your physical self. He is shielding your spirit. He doesn't want to see you discouraged, broken, or doubting your worth. Even in moments where he struggles to articulate his emotions, his desire to protect your peace and happiness becomes one of the loudest demonstrations of his love. What makes this protective instinct powerful is its consistency. A man may not be consciously aware of how deeply he cares, but over and over, he will find himself placing you ahead of himself. He may sacrifice his own comfort, to make sure you're okay, offer solutions to problems you face, or take on extra burdens just so your path feels lighter. It's not something he thinks through. It's something he feels compelled to do. His love, though unspoken, has already built a shield around you. This protection can also be seen in how he reacts when you're in pain. If you're crying, his heart feels restless. If you're stressed, he wants to fix it. If someone hurts you, he feels it personally. This is not simply empathy. It's a deeper connection where your struggles become his own. He may not recognize that this level of sensitivity to your emotions comes from love, but his consistent desire to guard you against hurt speaks louder than any confession. Even in silence, his protective instincts tell the truth. He may stand a little closer in crowded places, keep an eye on your surroundings, or quietly make decisions that he believes are best for you. He doesn't have to announce it. His love is visible in the way he anticipates your needs and looks out for you without asking for thanks. These protective actions may appear subtle, but they reveal a man whose heart has already made a home in yours. Protection is one of the purest forms of love because it is selfless. It asks nothing in return, but gives everything it can. When a man is unconsciously protecting you, your body, your heart, your mind, and your spirit, it is proof that he is more in love with you than he even realizes. Listening is one of the most underestimated yet powerful signs of love. Many people hear words without truly paying attention, but when a man is more in love with you than he realizes, he begins to listen differently. It is no longer just about responding or filling a conversation. It becomes about absorbing, remembering, and valuing what you say because your voice has a special place in his heart. His listening is not casual. It is intentional. Even when he doesn't consciously recognize why he is so invested in your thoughts. You can often tell the difference between someone who listens out of politeness and someone who listens out of love. A man in love, even unknowingly, will remember details that you may have forgotten you shared. You might mention your favorite childhood memory, a dream you once had, or a struggle you are facing, and weeks later he brings it up again. This shows that your words are not just passing noise to him. They are treasures he holds on to. He may not yet understand that his attentiveness is born from love, but his actions prove that your voice carries weight in his world. Listening also extends to how he responds to your emotions. When you're excited, he doesn't just nod. He celebrates with you, encouraging your joy and amplifying your enthusiasm. When you're hurt, he doesn't dismiss your pain. He acknowledges it, sits with you in it, and tries to ease it. Even when you're silent, he notices the change in your tone, the quiet pauses, or the sighs between your words. That depth of awareness comes from a heart already tuned to yours. He may not have labeled it love, but his ability to sense and respond to you on such a personal level shows exactly where his emotions are leading him. There is also patience in the way he listens. He gives you room to express yourself without rushing you, without interrupting, without trying to dominate the conversation. He allows you to be vulnerable, to vent, to dream, or to question, knowing that what you're saying matters. This kind of listening isn't just about understanding your words. It's about honoring your presence. It's his way of saying, "You matter to me," without speaking the words aloud. Love is evident in how he acts on what he hears. If you casually mentioned you wanted to try a certain restaurant, and later he surprises you with a visit there, that's listening transformed into action. If you told him about a difficult day at work, and he checks on you that evening just to make sure you're okay, that's listening that comes from the heart. These are not grand declarations, but they are undeniable signs that he is internalizing what you say because you are important to him. Listening in love is also about presence. It is not just about the words exchanged, but about the focus given. He sets aside distractions, looks at you, and engages fully because, without realizing it, you've become a priority in his mind. Even in group settings, you might notice that he pays special attention to your voice above the noise. That quiet preference is love showing itself in a way he may not yet understand. What makes this form of listening so profound is that it often comes naturally to him. He isn't trying to impress or prove anything. He simply cannot help but listen to you closely. You hold his attention in a way others do not, and your words settle into his memory effortlessly. He might not say, "I love you," but the way he listens, remembers, responds, and acts on what you say reveals the truth his heart already knows. Sometimes love is not spoken, nor even shown in obvious gestures, but revealed in something as simple and powerful as the way he looks at you. His eyes often tell a story his lips have not yet found the courage to speak. When a man is more in love with you than he even realizes, his energy, his expressions, and his presence shift whenever you are near. He may not consciously understand why he acts differently, but his body language exposes the depth of his feelings long before his words ever do. There is a certain softness in his gaze that only appears when it lands on you. It is not the same look he gives to anyone else. It lingers a little longer. It carries a warmth that feels almost protective, and it has an unspoken admiration in it. He might glance away quickly, as if he has been caught. But that brief moment reveals volumes. His eyes seem to trace your presence, not out of duty, but out of desire, as though you've become the focal point of his surroundings. Even in crowded rooms, his attention finds its way back to you, a magnetic pull that betrays his heart. The energy he brings around you also changes. You may notice his mood lifting simply because you walked into the room. His smile grows softer, his body relaxes, and his voice carries a different tone when speaking to you. There is a natural joy that rises in him at your presence, even when he doesn't say a word. These are not rehearsed reactions. They are instinctive. His heart responds before his mind catches up, showing that love has already taken root in him. Sometimes the most telling signs are in the little, almost invisible actions. He leans closer when you speak, even when he can already hear you perfectly well. He positions himself to face you, giving you his full attention without even realizing it. His hands might fidget slightly, his posture may straighten, or his tone might soften. All signs that his heart is quietly confessing what his mind has not yet acknowledged. His energy also changes when others interact with you. Even if he does not express jealousy openly, you may notice subtle shifts. He may stand a little closer, speak a little more, or show more interest in the conversation when someone else is trying to capture your attention. These are unconscious ways his emotions reveal themselves, protective and attentive at the same time. They may not be spoken declarations, but they clearly show that you hold a unique and irreplaceable place in his life. Another undeniable expression of love is how he smiles at you. It is different from his usual smile, softer, more genuine, sometimes even uncontrollable. It might appear when you're speaking passionately about something, or when you're not even aware of it. That unguarded smile is his heart shining through. expressing a joy he might not even fully recognize as love yet. But to an attentive eye, it is unmistakable. Even silence can be powerful when love is present. There may be moments when no words are exchanged, yet the atmosphere between you feels alive. His eyes meet yours, and for a brief moment, the world around you fades. That kind of connection is not ordinary. It's the language of two hearts speaking in silence. He may not realize how deeply it reveals his emotions, but the energy between you says more than he could put into words. Love also reveals itself in the way he notices things about you that others miss. He might catch the way your expression changes when you are tired, the subtle excitement in your tone when you talk about something you love, or the small habits you have when you are nervous. His eyes pick up on these details because his heart is tuned to you. Without realizing it, he studies you with a tenderness that only love can inspire. His gaze, his smile, his body language, and the energy he radiates in your presence all weave together a silent testimony. He may not yet be aware of how deeply he feels, but his unspoken reactions betray him. His love is written in the way he looks at you, in the way he lights up around you, and in the way he unconsciously makes you the center of his attention. These signs, subtle yet undeniable, are proof that sometimes love is loudest in silence. Consistency is one of the most powerful and undeniable signs of love, and it often reveals itself before a man even realizes the depth of his own feelings. Words can be spoken without much thought. Grand gestures can sometimes be fleeting, but consistency requires devotion. It is the daily choice to show up, to be present, and to stand by someone through both the easy and the difficult moments. When a man is more in love with you than he realizes, it shows in the way his actions remain steady and dependable, even when he has not yet put a label on what he feels. Love in its truest form is not just about intensity in the beginning, but about endurance over time. A man who is unconsciously in love will keep finding ways to be there for you again and again. He texts to check on you, calls to hear your voice, or shows up when you need support, not out of obligation but out of genuine care. It becomes natural for him to weave you into his daily rhythm. He may not recognize this as love, but his commitment to being consistent is proof of how deeply his heart is already involved. Consistency also reveals itself in reliability. If he says he will do something, he follows through. If he makes a promise, he honors it. You don't have to question whether he will be there, because his actions have already built trust. Even if he doesn't openly express his feelings, his steady presence says what his words have not yet caught up to. Love doesn't hide in occasional effort. It shows itself in patterns. And his patterns reflect a loyalty and devotion that go far deeper than he realizes. Another aspect of consistency is the way he chooses you repeatedly. Even in small decisions, he includes you in his plans, makes time for you despite being busy, and makes you feel like a priority in his life. These aren't one-time gestures. They are ongoing habits that demonstrate where his heart truly lies. Without even naming it, he is showing that you have become central to his world, someone he cannot imagine leaving on the sidelines. Consistency in love is also about emotional steadiness. Anyone can be affectionate when things are going well, but a man who is truly falling in love, even unknowingly, will show up during the hard times. He listens when you are upset, stands by you when you are stressed, and offers comfort when you feel alone. His willingness to remain by your side, regardless of circumstances, is one of the clearest proofs that his feelings are rooted in something real and lasting. He may not say the words, but his actions in times of difficulty are louder than any declaration. It is also worth noticing how his consistency shows up in the little things. He remembers to ask about your day. He follows up on something you mentioned before, or he repeats thoughtful gestures that he knows make you happy. These aren't dramatic or showy, but they carry the deepest meaning. Real love doesn't always scream. Often it whispers in dependable actions repeated day after day. He may not consciously understand it, but his heart has already chosen you in these rhythms of care. What makes consistency such a powerful sign of love is that it cannot be faked for long. Grand words may fade, passion may waver, but consistency requires sincerity. When a man keeps showing up, keeps supporting, keeps prioritizing, even when it is not convenient, he is proving that his love is already stronger than he realizes. His actions reveal a deep commitment that is not fleeting but enduring, something that grows quietly until it becomes undeniable. In the end, consistency is love's clearest voice. It is not the occasional spark, but the steady flame. Not the temporary excitement, but the lasting devotion. Even if he does not yet recognize the depth of his feelings, his faithfulness, reliability, and repeated choice to stand by you make it clear. He may not have spoken the words, but his consistency says them every single day. He is in love with you more than he knows.